Good evening, the ALTTPR League, and welcome to Week 4 of League Season 4. Tonight, we have Spoiler Key Sanity. We will be featuring Ped Zeppelin with Zeke, and for Dark Side of the Triforce, we are looking at IBKarma. In terms of how this mode works, our runners are going to have a pilot with them. Those pilots are going to have a spoiler log that they receive at the start of the race, and they will be able to feed information to their runners. For Zeke, we have TJ Joel, and for Karma, we have Garrison. So those are our pilots, those are our runners. Who's the rest on the crew tonight? We got myself, Radical Sniper 99, joined on the comm booth by John, as
Hey,
well as
that's
our
me.
tracker, Yoinker's wife. How's it going?
I'm doing great. I hope chat's doing great. Yep. We got Amarith restreaming for us. That's the last name you don't see there on the screen. And we should be. Oh wait. Yeah. We're on Leak. We got a restreamer. So yeah, these two are going to be starting off 82nd here. Expect to see a great race. These are both some incredible runners. I think you had the same thought as me, Jesse. You saw 4 great names racing, and then you saw a great name tracking and a great name restreaming. You said I have to get in on these comms.
Definitely. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I was a little concerned about timing just because I was racing my just about an hour and a half ago, but plenty of time, Always love doing comms, especially when it's for friends. Have raced casually with all of these people numerous times, so definitely one of those times you're like, I want to get in on one of these. And it doesn't hurt when you know the race is going to be done pretty fast.
Yeah, it's the right week to come. If you ever feel like just jumping in, we've still got 3 more days of this, plenty more races. Actually, a lot of people are getting involved. We got 4 races going simultaneously right now. There are 3 on Speed Gaming for the primary Invitational League, and there's this one right here, and the racers are off. We are go, and we got 2 different starts. Exciting. Oh no, it's backwards link for a Sprite. Oh no. And you can't hear her, but I can hear the restreamer, and the restreamer is laughing very hard at that realization. What did we find in Sanctuary right there?
We had a glove and sank, and we had the red boomerang
All right,
in
and
Link's house. And oh my gosh, Bobblehead Link just kills me.
do these runners know what's on Treepole? Did they look it up that quick, or are they just going for it? Good job, Zeke.
So I personally, when I do this kind of mode, I do pretty much the same idea as Zeke, going up for a tier 1 and doing uncle check. It's definitely a good little amount of time. It gives your pilot that extra little bit. So I'm very much a proponent of Zeke's style here.
I have a slight preference towards Karma's here. I love the Houlihan. I love starting out with a ton of money. You never know when you're going to get that seed that says, okay, really early you're going to have to do Zora and Bottle Merchant and Kiki and Dig Game and nothing. There's no tier, tree pull, no stun prize, nothing has money in it. So good luck. So and plus I just love to say like, okay, is there anything in CAC? Wear boots real quick. But yeah, both of these guys buying their spoilers sometime. That was Garrison and who was it on Karma's side? Who's spoiling
TJ Joel.
no, sorry, TJ's spoiling for Zeke. Garrison's spoiling for Karma.
Yep.
And yeah.
So what I understand a lot of people's temptation to go for the Houlihan start. And you're right in that sometimes you do get that seed where it's like, you need Zora, you need Bottle Vendor, you need Big Bomb, you need Kiki early, and there's like no convenient money. But generally speaking, at least from my perspective, it's very rare. And I really like this play from Zeke, really going for it here on this Dark Crossplay. Unfortunately, taking a death. I think he just lost track of that door.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Zeke definitely known as an incredibly good low percent runner. I don't know Karma as well. I play with Karma a lot, but I don't know his low percent as well as I know Zeke's. So that's unfortunate for him. Don't be surprised if he just jumps right back in there, especially with I don't know. Karma didn't go for Dark Cross, so I don't expect to see Zeke. Zeke's just gonna head over to the Lost Woods and CAC, I suspect. I don't have the spoiler log open. Do you have it open? I like to
No,
blind.
I'm same as you on these. I prefer the blind comm. I like the surprise of seeing these routes and trying to understand how the pilots put it together. Very much this mode is a dance between pilot and runner. Knowing what your runner feels comfortable with and communicating that. Like, there are going to be times when, your pilot's going to say, hey, we can go do this, that, or the other thing. How do you feel about it? And, as a runner, you have to be willing to say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do 3 heart cold stare. Can you get me powder? Can you get me a bottle, a cape,
Lion's House
half
is
magic?
stacked.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've already got a glove, or we got our second glove. We've got the pearl already. We are just finding these implements to get through.
Yeah, interesting. Zeke deciding to do Blind's Hideout second. I wonder if they were just checking that section of the spoiler log second and he dropped in. I was expecting that to be something related to bomb routing. Maybe there were bombs in well and he was going to pick those up. But no, the tops on both of these must have nothing interesting. Lost Woods had nothing interesting. So pretty similar routing. They both bought pretty close to the same amount of time with the 2 different starts. Eventually we'll see, we'll see Karma go get his powder. But it's going to be, wait, was it Zeke that Houlihan or was it Karma that Houlihan?
So Karma Houlihan and was able to get the flippers out of the back of the escape. Meanwhile, Zeke had done, and I think Karma might have gotten his powder as well. But Karma is not going into Dark World, although starting once again at the Sanctuary. I'm very curious what his route's going to be.
Up the mountain. It's got to be. That's the only place you're going if you're starting back here.
Although his routing is
Or
really...
not.
Yeah,
or
this
if
is
I'm
curious.
completely wrong. Meanwhile, Zeke straight for the frog.
He needs
gonna
money.
I'm going to guess Boots on Smith Chain. What do you think? Boots or Mirror on that Smith Chain?
I gotta think there's something. Unfortunately, Zeke's still not at no money. You need 10 rupees for Mr. Smith, so...
Yeah.
Aha.
Well,
And
here
we
goes.
go. Yep.
We might see him Houlihan right here.
I think this is for those flippers, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, I was expecting both, perhaps. Yeah, especially because you and we don't know what's on Zora and Dig Game. Well, Dig Game's probably not that interesting considering Zeke did not pick it up. But you know what? He doesn't have money, so maybe that was the limiting factor there. And it wasn't an issue of not worth farming, but an issue of there's just no money to be had. But the fact that he's not Houlihaning kind of contradicts that point, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm still very curious to see what he's gonna do.
Karma, meanwhile, is he gonna that current jump? It looks like that's
No,
what
he's got
going
flippers.
For. Oh, right, flippers. No
Although
current jump
he's
required.
setting it up for a current jump. I don't know why he's thinking of doing that.
He might have forgotten.
Yep.
I'm gonna definitely put that in my interview notes. Maybe he just wanted to show off for us. This is a clinic. He knows a lot of people. He knows 72 people are watching him, and he just really would like us to know how to do that current jump.
And it looks like it's for Quakefish.
Yeah, that's what we're going over here for. We're not going to an early pod dip. Meanwhile, let's see what's. Oh no, Zeke, you can't afford it. Let's hope there's money right here. We can't go into Magic Bat. We can't do anything out here. So.
Well, and at least
Zeke,
he's aware. He didn't go back in, so he's definitely on the knowledge side of going, wait, I don't got the money. So where is money? It might be the back of the tavern here.
Yeah. It's a key.
Or not. Oh, no. You never like seeing those keys. That's very deliberate, and that's a hammer off of Quakefish.
That is, and the fact that he picked that key up now and not the first time he was in CAC implies that they were reading through the log and saying, okay, we're going to have to go through this. It means I'm going to guess something on Lumberjack Cave, but it could be that, well, yeah, obviously we're not Dark World locked, so there's something on Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, and Zeke just getting 10 rupees, so this could just be he wants the Smith for something.
Yeah, something's big on that Smith. We've accidentally wasted about 2 minutes on it.
And this sprite from Zeke is just, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, you get to, we all get to enjoy this for the next hour, and I'm very pleased.
I've definitely seen this one get used. Not so common, but oh gosh, this is something.
Karma's gonna get his Smith chain on. I'm gonna guess. Oh, and that's what it is. Okay, about as good as the boots for getting you around Hyrule. Gets you pretty much anywhere you want to go, especially with those gold gloves. All we need is our. Oh yeah, we already have our Moon Pearl, so yeah, we can get anywhere in the Dark World that at least under any big heavy rock that we want to.
Yeah, I like this move. Finding that mobility option as quickly as you can is a really nice plus. We are seeing Karma head into Thieves Town, so putting off the Smith for a little bit longer. I'll be curious to see what we get out of here. First of our pod smalls. Lots of those are available. Hopefully we don't need a ton of them.
Yeah, it is a pennant, so it could very well be a podless seed. We can always hope and wish and want. They do happen sometimes, and they go very fast. Our other pennants are Ice Palace and Desert Palace. The fact that we picked up the big key for that on both sides means either we picked it up just because on the way, or we're going to have to see that sometime soon.
And that was a hook shot out of Thieves Town. So this is a really interesting moment. The fact that Zeke had to do that little extra look for money doesn't feel good. So that's a rough play for that. But Karma, on the other hand, having to go back into Dark World just for that hook shot when he went to get his hammer. So I feel like the time investment and the time loss almost balances out between the two of them there.
Kind of. Well, yeah, because he couldn't have picked up the Smith. He doesn't have a mirror, so he couldn't have mirrored back to the front of the dungeon either. It's kind of unfortunate. No matter how you wanted to try to route it, this does seem quicker to just save equip back to sink and walk all the way back. And boy, a lot of walking in this seed.
Well, and that's the hard part, is this is the third time now Karma's gone in this portal.
Oh yeah, Zeke had the right idea. Karma could have just taken a death warp and walked on back out and gotten to the frog.
Yeah. So this is a little bit of, early race jitters, it feels like.
No,
so there's a
nobody
nice
gets
towel
those.
swap. I was gonna say, this is if you really want to hear a hectic beginning of a race, listen to a pilot runner combo. Start one of these races. It is.
Oh, this one's got to be insane. If either of these teams have their audio on, just going back and listening to the first 15 minutes would be quite the cacophony of just back and forth. And depending on how drift compatible your team is, determines how much gibberish it sounds like. whether or not you can understand what they're saying. So some people have their own code, and so some things are obvious. It'll be room and a number, and they've clearly numbered all the chests in the room. But sometimes you say what, because they've referred to a room as something that they colloquially call it that nobody else knows, and you just kind of got to guess what does Rumpelstiltskin room mean? Like, what are we talking about?
So, but it does look like we're going to be roughly even at this point. Karma does have a bit more extra money and the bombs to work with. Zeke's still on absolutely no rupees. He got 10 and he spent them on that flute.
He's got exactly as many rupees as he needs. He's taken his vow of poverty and he's taking it seriously. Meanwhile,
I guess that's the case.
Catfish. So both runners covering each other's steps pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, I like the route right now from Zeke a little bit better just from how it's worked out. I do wish he had picked up those rupees his first trip into the well. You do want at least some money. Interestingly, still no swords.
I totally agree. That's part of the other reason I like that Houlihan start is if those 300 rupee drops aren't right in your way, it's low percent. Sometimes you're just gonna flute and fill your bottles up, and sure is nice to have the money to do that mid-seed.
And it looks like Zeke's going right back for that Dark Cross. I really am curious what he's getting here.
Yeah, something special.
It has to be. I don't, we're a couple hearts richer, but other than that, this is still just pretty simple, plain and simple.
Zeke is good enough at his dark rooms. We might see him climb the castle tower after this too. We might see him death warp back to the front.
Even if you actually,
can't. No, we can't. We don't have the swords and the invincibility for it. Never mind. And meanwhile, Karma gonna come get his powder, and we'll probably see him do Dark Cross as well.
So I have to believe that Magic Bat's nothing, because you would think Karma would have done, or Zeke would have done. No, Zeke wouldn't have, but Karma even might have picked up powder earlier. So,
Possibly, if they had seen it. There's always, you don't always look at the top of the spoiler log right away. Sometimes you're just in the middle of it, you're looking at CAC, and you get back up to Castle Tower and say, oh, oh no, Boots and Mirror are in front of Escape, and I haven't noticed it until 10 minutes into the seed.
well, and we just got our Tower of Hera big key. So that's definitely a new one. We don't see that big key picked up too frequently, but it
Yep.
obviously has some purpose for this one because that is almost one of those big keys you always skip. And actually, it turns out the Magic Bat does have something because Zeke's in there right now.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they probably just hadn't seen that Magic Bat had something on it, or they hadn't seen where the hammer was, and they just said, okay, we can't route it in now. You're doing things so fast, you have to make decisions on the fly. You can't just sit and wait 5 minutes and say, okay, what's the best way to do what we're about to do now? You just gotta go. And Zeke is getting a bow. So let's see, what does that get us?
Nothing too big yet. I think this is, I wouldn't be surprised if getting that Hera big key is telling us we're heading up the mountain soon.
Yeah, that bow gives us a weapon, so we might be collecting everything to go into Eastern. Yep, okay, so we're probably going into Hera. We're probably gonna kill the boss if we're not. Also, we're definitely getting the big chest. So yeah, it's gonna be a Hera pot because we got hookshot. So whether or not we see the basement, well, we're not gonna see it on this trip unless a small key's along the way.
Well, still no fire either, so yeah, we're missing a small key and fire, so unlikely we're going to see too much there. Question is, are we going to see anything here in Paradox Cave?
Yeah, well, if we find if they know the mirrors up here, then I expect a pretty thorough clear, and that might be one of the reasons they were holding off on that first trip up the mountain, so they could do Hera and the Dark World and everything in one zip zammy quick run. Karma escorting the old man. I believe Zeke decided to skip escorting the old man, or did I just miss a dark
No,
sequence?
he did skip it. And yeah, Karma going up the old man rescue. I'm interested to understand why to do that kind of order, but especially for a piece of heart. And there's our
Yeah,
boot.
yeah, there's the boots. It could be that he's really just interested in having that save quit point and that quarter heart. Some of these seeds have so little life in them that even a quarter heart is worth pursuing. Now with blue mail, it's going to be less important, but hey, you're not really comfortable with blue mail until you hit 6 or 8 hearts most of the time, even at these runners' skill. And these are very skilled runners, but that's still 2 hits from cold stare kills you. I think it's still
Yes.
pretty iffy.
No, that is well below any real comfort with cold stare.
And we still don't have our first sword. Those could be locked away somewhere mean. We've been seeing a lot of seeds this week where we've got 2 swords in GT. That's where Sahabot likes to put them these days. And so we could very well see, a master sword until we get to a fighter sword until we get to TR, and then a master sword there until we get to GT. But we'll find out soon enough. Okay. So we definitely don't have Mirror up here, or else they would have gone to the Dark World first.
No, it's going to be in Hera, obviously.
That is a strong possibility. Could find a fire rod. We could find a sword. This mode it's the most fun mode to play. It's the most fun mode to calm. It's just so much fun. Go play this mode if you're not in League. Give it a shot. Even reading the spoiler log is a lot more fun than it seems at first glance. It's just as stressful as it seems, but it's 10 times more fun than you think it would be.
Well, and it's interesting because, a lot of runners are familiar with the spoiler format as a solo race. Where the runner is given like a 10 to 15 minute grace period. And there's our big key to Eastern Palace.
Big.
And yep. So a lot of runners are used to the idea of what we do for solo spoiler racing, where you get that 10 to 15 minute grace period where you're looking at the log and building your route. This mode, it just throws you in and says, no, get started, get going, and you just have that craziness. At this point, we're almost 20 minutes in. Our pilots are maybe still figuring out, hey, where's this key?
Ooh.
Yeah, tough there with Moldorm really trolling.
Yeah, that's gonna put Karma in the lead. I think we've done pretty close to the exact same checks the whole seed. It's we had some diversions at the front where we crisscrossed over each other, but now it's just applesauce, and Zeke takes the lead again.
Well,
The
the only difference here though is Karma did or sorry, Zeke did get that bow.
Oh, you're right. Zeke has that bow, and Karma has a little more money if that becomes relevant later.
Yeah, but I feel like Zeke avoiding money just is kind of like, I don't need it.
Yeah, there's a strong possibility that that's the call. We're pretty sure digging game is not necessary, or Karma would have picked it up when he did the Smith chain. So yeah, it's not super likely.
And Hera does give us our Swamp Palace big key. Not likely we'll need that one. But, you know, at least it's easy to get.
I'm starting to suspect that we are gonna find 2 items near the front of pod, and that's all we're gonna want. Both of these runners have just picked up 1 pod small. They don't seem to be taking any detours to get those pod smalls on their way around here. So unless we see a couple before they go over to Eastern Pod, which is probably where they're both going after this, considering how they've been routing this, then yeah, we're probably just gonna see that.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see what happens. I mean, it's early. Pod smalls aren't always convenient. You know, it's not always a mode of going out of your way too much. So
A suggestion in chat that Zeke's sprite might be messing up his positioning and hurting his gameplay. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly is messing up my comms. It's it's very distracting. All right, what's in the dark world? And did we get our look on? I guess we already knew what our access to TR was. It's Bombos. All right, Hookshot Cave. 4 delicious checks, but we're probably only doing a couple. Oh, Skullwood's small. Interesting. I wonder if he was just told to full. Oh, okay. And Karma's just picking up his first bow here. Where did Zeke picked up his first bow in Dark Cross? So I wonder if Karma's just going to completely ignore this
no,
and do his
Zeke's
silver.
first bow was Bat.
Oh, sorry, Bat. You're right, Magic Bat. Dark Cross was a big key for a dungeon. Oh, 300 rupees. Maybe Zeke just knew we had money here.
And that's the thing, is a lot of runners kind of just, you know, that's why I don't like the Houlihan play in general. Is money, generally speaking, there's convenient ways to get it. I would say less than 10% of seeds, you have to Houlihan. And that's why I'm not a big proponent of it. So I like the route that Zeke's taking on this. I understand why runners do it. It definitely helps. Like, this is one of those things that comes in handy between pilot and runner. You know, how do you two communicate? So for Zeke and TJ, this is like, we don't need that knowledge. You know, we don't need a Houlihan. For Karma and Garrison, this is probably something they feel better about doing, is saying, you know, can you take that little bit of time and find me you know, give me an extra little minute to start building the early route and go do a Houlihan. So it's just more of a, what's your preference?
Yeah, and I definitely, there's some I've got teammates that like to, hey, we'll just go to CAC from the south and farm a couple bombs, and that'll give you a minute to start parsing through the log. And some people like to just say, hey, you know what? Just tell me what's in the forest and kind of give me an idea of what to check at the front of CAC, and until I'm there, then you know, just let me loose. And all right, some keys, some goo for Karma. He also got the sword immediately after, and well, I was going to say I half expect Zeke to go get his sword right away, but that is not the direction Zeke is going in. He's going somewhere completely different. That first sword, by the way, was in Bonk Rocks. Strangely, that would have been a really easy one to pick up. Also, Zeke, I wonder if that was like a little too used to cross keys or what, accidentally planting a bomb in front of the pyramid, or in front of the fairy fountain instead of, well, maybe that was the pallet shuffle throwing him off. Maybe for a second he thought he was in the dark world.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we are getting hype caves from both of our runners right now.
Let's see how hype we can get it. Just a map. All right, another pod small. Well, we're picking up a lot of pod smalls, so maybe maybe we're diving deep into pod after all. How many are we up to on this side?
We got 2 apiece
3.
right now. Oh, wait, sorry, 3 for Karma, but yeah, 2 for Zeke. And we're not saving and quitting. We are continuing.
Yep, we're going to pod.
That's what it's looking like.
Yep, I wonder if Mir's in pod.
The fact that Zeke and Karma both did not do or did not go to Eastern directly after, like for Karma especially, going into the Eastern area with Saha and not going to Eastern tells me that Mir is probably in pod at this point.
I would think exactly that. All right. Zeke is going to have a little more trouble dashing around here because he didn't pick up that first sword yet. I wonder if there's something in King's Tomb or Graveyard Ledge that is making Zeke want to route that in later.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
definitely a question of, do you want to limit your double dips, or what kind of dips do you need to take when? So we're still missing plenty at this point. We still need Kana Samaria. We're short some medallions, some rods, and of course, plenty of keys.
All right, and there's our Mir on that bridge. We didn't even see, Zeke going for Shooter Room first. Karma just going straight for that Mir, and Shooter Room has something important, so hopefully Karma comes back for it before the end of the seed, or before the end of the dungeon.
I'm sure he will. Interesting though.
Yeah, going for that very early. Yeah, I think the plan is to Mir out when he's done here. There's probably nothing on the right side if he's doing the hammer yump right now. Gets his. Oh no, you were too low, Karma. You lined it up wrong. All right, let's see him line it up again. Oh, he does it so fast I can't even tell where his pixels are. Zeke routing this completely differently. Drop it down first, getting that TR big key. So yeah, the bot is pretty stacked. They just know how to do it with minimal keys. Once again, Zeke had to do this with just 2 keys.
Well, and I think part of this is for Zeke is maybe just getting a few extra bombs right now. Having not done anything yet up to that point. Karma had the full bomb assortment, but gets that hammer yump this time.
Pod is definitely the dungeon to get bombs in. They're just lying around everywhere.
Yeah, and you see that a lot in just traditional NMG as well. Like, oh, I can do all this later.
And we got a pod big. Oh, we might have to beat this boss. So this could be a ped seed. This could be a...
I think this is just for the big chest.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, there might not even be something on Helmasaur. What do we got? Another big key for Thieves Town. Well, that's important. Zeke about to do the exact same thing, and Karma is going to get his red cane. Okay, I am starting to suspect we have everything, and that Karma accidentally picked up one more key than he needed.
And a lot of pilots will do that. Early on, you might be like, okay, there's a pod small in this area, like just grab it.
Yep.
And then you might find later, oh, we only needed the one.
Yep. You don't have time to work out all the logic for every dungeon right at the start of the seed. So if you see a dungeon key, you just say, hey, if it's right in front of your face, just grab it. Take that 2 seconds to open that chest, and we'll figure out if it was a waste of time later.
And we are both out of Palace of Darkness at the same time.
Look at that. This synchronized seed. These two.
I mean, the one advantage here still is those silver arrows for Zeke. I really am a fan of that. I also love the fact that Karma has a sword. You're seeing that payout right now for Karma, being able to take some of those extra dash lines. So, Karma can build a little bit of time here, but even still, Zeke has the advantage for that Armos fight.
Yeah, I'm a fan. If you're going to get silvers early, get them as early as you can, because they just help with so many little things along the way. And that's partially probably why Zeke said, nah, I don't need a sword yet. I can one-shot every enemy I encounter right now.
Now, the question, I guess, is did Karma not do Smith Chain? I don't see
Uh,
it marked.
Karma did the frog, I believe. I
I
believe he
thought he
did the.
did.
Yeah, he picked up the Smith. I'm pretty certain. Chat, do you want to fill us in if anyone is very confident that he did or did not? All right, and both
No. I'm checking Karma's stream. He does have a flute. So I'm very curious why Karma did not go for his silvers, because that is easily a free time save.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's yet another mystery to solve. Both runners going for the big key chest, so we got something juicy here before we head to the boss.
Yeah, and we did get a TR small key as well.
Yeah, that
So
was in Cannonball right at the start. Unless we got a second one, did we get another one
no,
too?
it was just
We're up to-
cannonballs. Yeah, we're up
Okay.
to 3 and the big, so getting close to being able to clear that dungeon. And a small key to there's our swamp small.
All right. Well, that's out of the way. Nice when it's a required thing on the way when you're just looking through the spoiler log and at the dungeon and you say, okay, well, this is obviously, hey, we're going to be here before Ice Palace for sure, no matter what. All right, pick up our arrows. Zeke did not need to pick up arrows, but probably did out of habit. Okay, neither runner farming money, so we might be out of expensive things to buy this seed.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke's still at over 200 rupees. Karma's spent a little bit more. Zeke hasn't bought bombs. It's very interesting. He's been able to farm up the ones he's really needed at every step. Still, the sword advantage is really nice for Karma. I know Zeke loves his swordless, but I'm still a little curious there. But really nice with the silvers.
Maybe Zeke just decided to do this whole seed swordless, you know? You never know. Right up until we go into GT, no swords.
Well, and realistically, like, here's the payout for Zeke anyway with the silvers advantage.
And Chad, I don't want to hear that you need a sword to go into Thieves Town and the Aga 1 climb. I know. Yeah, those Armos Knights are just down. Yeah, I wonder if those rage slashes are Karma saying, "Wait, why don't I have silvers? Where are my silvers?" If he's watching the restream or if he's
Well,
if
I
he's
will
listening.
say, as a runner, I don't. And I don't know many runners who like to watch these races. If I want to know something, you know, if my pilot is gonna do something like that, they're in charge there, and they only will tell me if I want to know. So
Oh
I
yeah,
can't imagine that Karma's watching. Like that's not usually something a lot of runners like to do.
my personal rule is don't tell me anything until we hit our go. Once we know where every item is that we need. Once we've hit our no mode, then we can check where we are. Because the other thing is it takes energy to check, and that's energy you don't want to spend. You want to focus on going through the seed yourself and getting through. There's no reason to look at the other runner. It's like being in a foot race and checking where the other guy is. Does it really matter if you know it's probably going to be close in the end? All right, there's our silvers for Karma.
And Zeke heading also into Dark World, he might be doing that Graveyard Ledge or King's Tomb that you were talking about. Having that mirror, definitely being able to merge that in together.
Looks like he's going up to Skull Woods, so we've got a fire rod up there or something so important that we're gonna double dip it.
Yeah, we did get one Skull Small key, so there's definitely some nice ways to route this one.
I believe both runners went out of their way to grab a Skull Small, which means they thought, hey, I want to do this in a circle in a very specific way. Interestingly, yeah, this is very deliberately. Huh. Very clever, Zeke. Okay. Mirroring to just get right back out of that little pot zone and just run back up here. This is a very good way to route this. Take notes if you want to know how to be very good at this game. Both of these runners doing a fantastic job. Karma went into Thieves Town instead. We weren't paying attention. Did we see what was on that first check or that sec? I don't think he checked anything, did he?
No, because we did the front earlier.
Oh, that's right. My brain was saying there must be nothing up here, but we already checked.
Yeah, this is where we got our hook shot earlier.
Look at Zeke eschewing that quarter heart piece, saying, "Nah, I don't need it." Something wasn't Thieves drop down this whole time, huh? What's in the drop down? Oh, just some safety, some much needed, not not 6 heart blue mail fighter sword Mothula. If that's indeed where we're going. Oh, it looks like he's got. Oh, yeah, he's got to pick up his sword first. Oh, that might have actually been a mistake. It might have been the intent to get the sword and then come in and do Skullwoods.
No, we're still. Oh wait, he does have Fire Rod now. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is. There's definitely a part of it that you're kind of just like. The sword will make things better, and there's another heart container in the attic, so we're starting to really get nice heart containers.
It might have also just been quicker to do this the way that Zeke did. It might have been faster to portal out of Skull Woods and then hoof it over here real quick instead of coming here first and then going into Skull Woods to get the Fire Rod. Our trackers are filling out quite nicely. We are going to need to find an Ether, a Bombos, an Ice Rod. We're probably going to need one invincibility item if we're to make ourselves comfortable, but it's not going to be required unless we don't find another sword for a long time. And then we've got a lot of keys. Many big keys and small keys left. Actually, looks
We're
like it's
not
mostly
doing too
just big
poorly.
keys.
Yeah, I mean, we've got what we need to clear Swamp. We can clear
might need a
Skull. We can
Desert
clear
Small.
Thieves. We need a Mire Big, and that's really it.
Yeah, and maybe a Desert Small depending on what's on the right side. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We're pretty close to no mode. Just those few.
Well, and
accuracy
realistically,
items.
if we don't have to kill Landmolus, steal it.
Oh, right,
Steal a
yeah.
key.
If nothing's on Landmo, you don't need that other key. You just grab it off the front. Pretend you had it all along. All right, who likes shmups? Because Karma, he's gonna play a shmup for a second here.
And nice through those first 2 phases of the blind script. And there we go. That down goes blind for Karma. Nicely done.
Yeah. Takes a
And
couple
another
hits,
heart container.
But that doesn't really matter, you know. When you're going for speed, sometimes you're happy taking those hits just to make the fight go faster. You've got the safety. The ideal script isn't necessarily the one where you take no damage. It's the one where you waste no frames. Hey, hi TJ. Welcome to the chat. Somebody is in route no mode and saying hello.
Nicely done there by Zeke taking down the Moth.
Yeah. Makes it look easy. That was not easy. That was a hammer fight. That was a very difficult fight. All right, and Karma right behind him, gonna get his Fire Rod. I would not be surprised if Zeke's next step is to cross right back over into Thieves Town, and we're gonna see these two do what the other did for each other. Did Karma kill that hand on purpose, or did he want to actually take that hand back up to the front? I don't remember if he dropped in or not.
I feel like he had that look on his face of, I wanted to get a ride.
Yeah. Well, no, because he got that small key on his way around as he walked back around, and he could have mirrored if he wanted to. So I think that was deliberate that he doing it the exact same way Zeke did. See, Zeke, did he flute back? Is it? Yeah, I guess it is quicker to flute back to 3, pick up that rock, and come back here. I always think it's quicker to portal and then run back to that rock, but yeah, fluting might be faster.
So no, fluting in this case would be, I will say that I think Karma's route of doing Thieves into Skull's the better in terms of efficiency.
That's definitely correct as far as efficiency. But if you're in Zeke's position where he just finished
Yes.
Moth and
No,
came out,
fluting back is definitely like the way I would have probably done it.
yeah, and my default is just oh yeah, I'll just look how much time I'm saving. I mirrored and then I walked back to the portal to go back into it, the rock portal. Meanwhile, am I missing something? Are all pallet shuffles the same for every seed now? Has it been that way for a while?
It's been improved quite a bit.
Okay, because both of these runners have the exact same pallet shuffle. So I'm wondering if that's a per seed lock. Very Very nice to look at. Good job, devs. Meanwhile, Karma having the awful fight with the big, mean butterfly man. Woman? I believe Mothula identifies as femme-gendered.
Nice kill, though, from Karma there. Really clean.
Yeah, didn't take a single hit.
So at this point, I think we're going to get an ice. No, well, we don't really need ice. We're, at 3 and 4 crystals apiece here.
We don't need Ice
Swamp.
Palace?
I mean,
Or we
ice is
don't
a
need...
pendant.
Right, yeah. We just need those 3 physical items and that 1 big key. Both runners did pick up all 4 TR smalls, so there's a possibility that something we need is on Lava Chest. That vanilla big key chest for Turtle Rock. Oh, Aegina's Cave has something. Karma coming over here, checking it out.
And what I will point out on the question of TR smalls is actually something a lot of people don't think about. Usually we say, oh, I need 3 to beat Trinex. But there's a really cool little way to play this is, get all 4 and you can skip the Pokesteel.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. If all 4 are right in front of you and you stumble across all 4, there's no reason not to pick up that 4th one and just, hey, we don't even have to, that's a lot fewer tubes you have to walk into and wait on.
Exactly.
All right, meanwhile, Zeke playing his favorite shmup. That's not Ikaruga.
And nicely done from Zeke's side, also getting through that quick kill.
Yeah, and it looks like are we going into Swamp? Is that where we're going? No. Where are we going? Pyramid? It's the guessing game. Guess along with us, chat. Oh, Island. Lake Hylia Island has something.
Interesting.
All right, let's get our open chest fanfare. I'm super excited. What could it be? Okay, it's a sword. It's fairly exciting. And just gonna, hey, let's route in Ice Palace right now. If there's anything we gotta dip in here, which it appears that is the case. We've got both of our accesses. We can come in with Bombos or Fire Rod. And speaking of which, Zeke is about to go get. Where did we find that Bombos? Is that what was in Aegina's Cave?
Yeah, we're about to get that on Zeke's end.
Not that we need it to get into Ice Palace, but hey, this routing is working out really well.
Well, and if you have to do a cold stare fight here, having that Bombos medallion with half magic and a master sword, especially low health, it's a more comfy fight for sure.
All right, and it looks like Karma has eked out a bit of an advantage. He's quite a bit further ahead. Well, I say quite a bit further ahead. He's like 20, 30 seconds ahead. Maybe a minute.
Honestly, there's not a huge difference here. Zeke has 1 extra GT key. But other than that, really no major difference.
Yeah, a very exciting race for us watching it. Obviously, if you're any of these 4 people, this is the most anxious you've probably been this week. and you cannot blame them. Yeah, indeed, Zeke is going to pick up that sword off the island, and he's going to go into Ice Palace.
Yeah, just waiting to find out for what. I mean, that tempered sword's nice.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going in here for something. It could be all the way to the boss. Might be.
Well, and the fact that Karma hit the switch before doing Icebreaker tells me that we likely will be seeing Cold Stare this time.
Yeah, all right. So Cold Stare himself, or possibly Saha, on a return visit. You should go and visit your grandparents at least once a year if they're still alive, and that's what we're gonna do with Saha.
So, and Karma is skipping a lot of the other chests here in Ice Palace, so whatever it is deep in this dungeon, and I'm guessing, yeah, at this rate it has to be Cold Stare, I think.
Yeah,
a nice little fairy drop for Zeke.
No reason to hit that switch for anything in freezer chest or big chest. So yep, we're gonna go see the boss. Well, yeah, we don't have the big chest either, so it's not in the big chest. Yeah, all right, here we go. Here's that mean Freezor Cold Stare fight. Now, dropping in with 5 hearts on blue mail, that's pretty scary. All we've got is a green goo in that bottle, so Karma's got to watch out. I think this is a 2-hit KO or a 3-hit KO, depending on
This is
what
2-hit.
lands on him. Yeah, I think the ice is gonna do 2 hits if it falls on him, or 2 hearts.
I was gonna say ice is gonna be even a little less. I think ice is at 1 heart right now
Okay,
on
yeah.
blue mail.
Regardless, even on blue mail, Cold Stare, he hits like an ice cream truck. It's gonna be ridiculous. If anything, if we lose control of this fight. But it's Karma, it's Zeke. The chances of either of these two losing control of this fight, not very high. I mean, how fast was that?
Yeah, nice little spam of that fire rod for the ice rod.
All right, there you go. Cold Stare was the coldest of ice cream. And we'll see. Obviously, we're going to see Zeke go straight down to the bottom of this dungeon as well and go eat his strawberry ice cream and pick up that ice rod.
Well, I'm very curious. Karma still did pick up the green pendant. One of the cool little things you can do in this mode, if you don't need to get that pendant, is you can actually just go and automatically leave. You could save and quit after getting the item.
And he didn't flute straight to 5, so that implies that he didn't realize he didn't have to pick up that pendant.
Yeah, we'll see what Zeke does. I'll be very curious. It's one of those things, especially a lot of that might be more of an invitational level thing to think about, but we'll see what happens.
I've run with both of these guys, and that is the thing that has occurred to that's the sort of thing that would occur to both of these runners if their mind isn't flooded with 100 other things.
Well, and really at this point, that's why I'm very surprised, because by the time you get to this 45-minute mark, you're definitely into that groove.
Yeah, your mind is starting to clear out here because you're doing a lot less now. There's a little bit of haze sometimes if you were overwhelmed. You're kind of also recovering from that first 20-30 minutes of the seed. But yeah, absolutely, there you are at the point where you have time to think, and stuff can occur to you. You're at the point where you can say, wait a minute, I don't have enough money to turn Kiki to get into pod, or that sort of thing 100 times. Oh, I don't have book. I can't do that check.
And Zeke picked up the pendant as well, so
yeah, maybe we'll see a flute to 5 for Ether medallion later or something like that. Meanwhile, in Swamp Palace with a Tempered, always feels good to kill Argus with Tempered Sword. Get just a couple slashes on those eyes to get him down. Let's see how many diver downs we get to see today.
And Zeke not going to Swamp Palace yet, instead going for the mountain.
All right.
Looks like we're going to get TR play.
Yep, implying that lava chest probably is something we need to finish one of the dungeons that's not on the mountain. Which at this point means our Mire Big or our Ether, most likely. The other one, probably here in Swamp Palace.
Well, and realistically, it doesn't make much of a difference. Like, it sounds like we need an extra mountain climb, so...
Yep. Yeah, if
no real loss here.
There's no reason Zeke is not doing this unless this trip up the mountain is required. This seed hard requires 3 trips up the mountain, or else we wouldn't be coming up here now. All right, it looks like we're only getting 2 diver downs, 1 for each pair of runners. Nothing on left side swamp, just the way we like it. All right, Amarith, what tactic is that? I gotta know. Amarith asking if one of the teams is employing a certain tactic. Okay, and Zeke opens up the big turtle dungeon. And Karma is going to tell us what was in this dungeon that was, it could be 5-6 crystals. Oh, that could be what it is. It could be Pyramid Fairy has what we're looking for.
Yeah, this is looking like it could be a 5-6 requirement or something.
All right, And Argus doesn't want to cooperate with Karma, but Karma still gets it on the one cycle as far as how many times he sends little puffs out. And Zeke is going in. I am not sure if we've seen any pickups yet. No, we have not seen anything in here yet. One more crystal down. We're finishing up this seed. Lickety split. We've only got 2 crystals left, so yeah, it's definitely looking like that Pyramid Fairy. Oh yeah, who just saved a portal?
Well, no, what the point that John's making in chat is that Karma can save a portal. I just don't see a need at this point. Honestly, what are you gonna do? Like, we're clearing Turtle Rock at this point. We
Yeah,
have all the
there's
small
no
keys.
double dipping Turtle Rock. I think there's a slight time save to be had to running straight left after you clear Turtle Rock and dropping a portal right above Hookshot Cave and like right here, right where he just dashed past. Oh, was that
That was our
what was
Mire
on
Big.
Floating Island?
No,
Okay.
Mire Big was in a Mimic Cave.
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by Floating Island. I couldn't quite make out what it was there. I was like, is that our ether? And I realized, wait, Karma already got ether. It was in Swamp Palace. So there we go. We're in go mode. We do not in fact have to do the Pyramid Fairy. So yeah, we're done here. Let's just go. Let's see who's route panned out and who's gonna out execute. It should be pretty close. Zeke has got to go back and do that Swamp Palace that Karma hasn't done, and Karma's got to do everything here in TR that Zeke hasn't done. If I were to hazard a guess, I would guess that Dark Side of the Triforce is 90 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's not a major difference here at this point.
It's
but
definitely
it's
not
enough.
It's enough to where if you play perfectly, you can't lose. But playing perfectly is a pretty hard thing to ask on 9 Hearts Green Mail. It's getting a little easier, but all we've got is that blue goo. Let's check these laser skips out. As if laser skips were not hard enough already. Now you got to do them with a bobblehead. Zeke lining up an excellent key dash there. Someone should ask him how he does that. I'm gonna go back to Trinex. Defeat the 3-headed turtle monster. It's gonna make it look really easy.
Well, and this is what we were saying, you know, Karma does have a little bit of a lead, but you know, that double pokey room kind of giving him a little bit of fits.
Yeah. All right, head number 2 is down for Zeke. The giant shell is exploding like it's Lavos. All right, Zeke doesn't quite get the double spin, but hey, it's a spin and 2 slashes anyway. Super fast fight. He's gonna flute back down, do his Misery Mire, not his Misery Mire, his Swamp Palace, get his Misery Mire big key along the way, or sorry, his ether along the way, and yeah, we'll be done with this. Oh gosh, not quite a sub 1 hour seed. Pretty close, huh?
Yeah, we're getting 7 crystals should be under an hour. Look like that for sure at this point. But yeah, definitely not a sub hour seed.
Yeah, we got silvers and butter though, so that climb is gonna be over before you blink. Both runners did pick up half magic along the way, and yeah, it's gonna be a 5-minute climb.
Yeah, this is really gonna come down to execution here. Definitely not sure who's gonna have the real advantage on this one.
John, Pet Zeppelin can't go Mire first. They still have to pick up their ether, which is the Mire access.
Yeah, and really, the lead is still Karma's, but it's really going to come down to this execution at the end. How comfortable do you feel?
Yeah, and he's still got to do these laser skips. He took that first fall. He's going to take the safety door, which Zeke did not do, so that's time that Zeke's making up on him. But he also feels safe. When you feel safe like this, you should play safe. You should do the thing where you ensure you don't die. I would walk out that door and walk right back in because, hey, dying on Trinex sucks, but dying on Trinex when you have to walk through the entire dungeon again is far worse. Yeah, but, it's Karma and Zeke. What are the odds of these guys dying on Trinex, right?
Shh.
I say as
you
as
don't say
Karma
these things, John.
goes down to 4.5 hearts for the start of this fight. Right, and Trinex fight number 2. Sure is easy with butter. Just gotta nail that head and get 3 swipes in on it. Yeah, with butter sword, Trinex sure is the rule of 3s. Oof. Karma. Okay. That was not a commentator's curse I wanted to be blamed for tonight.
Definitely not.
Alright, and 10 silver arrows is the reward for being the first guy to go into Misery Mire. Karma and Garrison are going to zoom in there. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to keep... We'll keep a track on when both of our runners enter Mire to give us a kind of a better idea.
I was going to count it on the rock lift. I'm way too eager to wait until they enter.
No, I prefer entry because there's definitely that little extra time it takes to, see how they go through this first screen.
Oh, I think that's part of it. That's part of the dungeon, right? Wait, are we getting a bird toss?
No, what I mean is this, like getting to the ether spot and casting, there's definitely some, ability to have a little bit of a time difference there. So
Karma,
I
are
like
you going to toss that bird?
I don't think you do.
Karma, are you going to toss that bird? Wow, no moral victory for Karma.
No
memes whatsoever. Zeke is definitely not going to. He wants to win this race. He's not going to meme it, but he would be my hero if he did. He's already my hero.
So we're at about a 55-26 there for Karma entering into Misery Mire. What kind of time difference are we going to have at this point?
Zeke sticks a silver arrow straight into that Argus like it's the ultimate arrow money game. And yes, Adalor, I was excited for the bird toss. You saw me last week. I didn't even have ether access. I still did the bird toss. Right, and a flute over to Mire, and we're gonna have both racers in that dungeon at the same time. We're gonna have them both in GT at the same time. We're gonna be nice and comfortable together, sharing spaces.
I don't know if I call that karma, but sure.
I said nice and comfy.
I wouldn't say I'm ever comfy knowing my opponent's right on my tail like that.
No, oh, should I say cozy? Cozy would have been nicer.
I don't know if I feel cozy knowing my opponent's... I like knowing my opponent's far behind.
So, I believe Karma has preserved Spooky. I guess he hasn't. He doesn't think he has. Oh, no, he does. Okay. Well, you gotta nail the
You don't have
first.
to Spooky here.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Sorry, Karma. I hope I didn't lead you into that. Alright, let's see if Zeke makes the same mistake coming up. Alright, and now since we've accidentally freed the anti-fairies, we can't do Spooky 2. So that's a little bit for Zeke to claw back. He's still considerably behind. What was our time difference?
I missed Zeke's entry time, unfortunately.
Alright,
paying attention to the...
Were you keeping us on our toes? If not, we'll have to do it on the crystal catch or something, huh? Look how fast we're through this dungeon. Karma's all ready to Viddy. sure is nice when you don't have to pick up any keys.
Yeah.
All right, and you only need 9 arrows. Let's see how many he uses. Wait, did I say 9? Yeah, it's 9.
It's
7
11.
eyes. Is it 9 eyes? Oh
It's
yeah, it
9
is 9
eyes.
eyes and 2 arrows. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Maniacal saying it's about 80 seconds. Oh, 56:49 entry for Zeke. So yeah, it is about 80 seconds difference. Zeke remembering, hey, I don't need that. Unfortunately.
Nope, he gets it eventually.
Yep. Nice
Just didn't quite
spooky.
line up on the first fire toss. Let's see if he gets spooky too. And
Yep.
I think he got it. Yeah, I saw
Yep.
the little stutter. I didn't see the click, but I saw the stutter. And powders that fairy to have an extremely safe fight. He's not nearly as far behind. All right.
Yeah, nice little time makeup, just, you know, getting the spooky correctly.
Well, wastes 1 whole arrow. Somehow I think he'll manage without it.
Yeah, we're good for arrows. We have, so Zeke has 2 GT smalls. Karma will have to get 1 at the top of the tower. But, you know, really not a big difference here.
Oh, not at all. All right, I'm making a note of the time of when Karma just walked into that portal. So we'll see just how much time Zeke got back off of the end of that dungeon and that 1 dead rock that Karma got over here. Ooh, this is a block there. Does switch over to mirror, so the other one is a guarantee. All right, and it's everyone's favorite repetitive part of the seed. It's that GT climb, but at least it's a little low percent. I mean, it's not that low percent. We got half magic, we got silvers, we got butter sword. It's a little glass cannon, we'll say that. You know, Karma's only got 8 hearts. It's still not even that scary, right? Not until you get to the pig at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the only unfortunate part is we don't have a cape, we don't have a cane of Samaria, so...
Yeah, no invincibility, so, you know, you could see a safety door just in case one of these runners... And you don't have blue goo. Both runners still just on 1 green goo bottle.
So yeah, 1 hour 20, Karma able to start walking up those stairs. 1 hour 25 in to GT. Zeke definitely has made up some time between that mire, so...
Yeah, he has. He is, it appears, less than a minute behind now.
And Karma taking the safe strategy here through our first GT climb room. Understandable at low health. We'll see how Zeke decides to approach it.
Yeah, 33 seconds difference right now. This is a close one.
Actually, so it was 1 hour 20 for when Karma could start moving.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the crystal turn-in. You're right. Okay. Yeah, got me. You're right. We're at just under 50 seconds.
Yeah, just under 50 seconds difference right now between Karma and Zeke. So really going to come down to this execution through the tower.
Yep.
But yeah, Zeke's made up about a quarter of the difference so far. And Zeke's going for the damage boost strats. So
yeah, he is. He's going for it. This is a race, everybody. We're gonna have some fun here. There might be 3 invitational races going on right now, but this is the one to watch. I might be a little biased based off of who's in the room right now. Right, makes quick work of that mimic room, but Karma going pretty fast too. He's not slouching.
Yeah, Karma working through the gauntlet so far. We'll see how this goes. And oh my gosh, nice spike from dash from Zeke.
Yeah, that was swag.
You want to talk about, you know, making up time. His first couple of rooms here in the climb, very lovely.
Oh, even that little hook, every little optimization. Zeke is like a tiger on Karma's tail, and he's got to run, and not fall not stumble at all, or Zeke is just gonna catch up and pounce on him.
Nice Lambo 2.
Oh, getting trolled by his own sword beams on Zeke's side for a second there.
Nice little splash damage there.
Right. This is just too good. We don't have to worry about Jingle Glitch. Long live Jingle Glitch. It is not a concern. These racers can take this at whatever pace they want to, but fast is the best. Alright, we don't need to pick up any safety magic. We can just climb up these stairs and light these torches. Meanwhile, Zeke, finishing off his land mode 2, has to go through a second cycle. Obviously not happy about that. And Karma over here does remember to pick up his key. I specifically kept quiet about it because I wanted to see if he remembered.
Assuming somebody actually listens to that talk.
Yeah. Hey, I turned the sound on as the spoiler, as the pilot.
Yeah, as a runner, I don't want to hear anything.
Oh, I want to hear it all. I want to feed my runner as much intel as possible, and if the comms are given intel that hasn't occurred to me, I want that in my runner's brain. Oh, Zeke missing Wizrobes 2, makes it up. Just costs him a couple seconds. Karma though heading into Agatu. Let's time when he walks into Agatu's chamber here. Is that when we want to do it? Where do we want to take our time?
I mean, honestly, it could just be land on the pyramid.
Oh, yeah, that's more fun. We're definitely not separated by remotely a Ganon fight. Chat asking what's in the bottles. I believe both runners still have a green goo.
Yeah, it was just a green goo on this one.
Yeah, no one has gone and bought anything. Neither runner got a bug net. Ooh, Karma, that triple. Magnificent. Alright, let's see when we land on the pyramid. It's going to be 105 something. So that was what, 105.20?
Yep.
All right. I think Karma actually managed to extend his lead coming up, during the climb.
Yeah, really nice climb from Karma.
Yeah, so it's gonna come down to Ganon, but as long as Karma is safe enough, he's got this. But hey, that's a big if. You can never take Ganon for granted. Although the way Karma is executing, maybe you can.
John. You don't say these things.
What can I say? I like to curse him. I like to see the falls and the close races and the changes. You know, maybe
you saw a close race, John.
All right, let's see if we get that first silver hit. Yeah, we do. All right, light that torch. Oh, we don't get the glitch. That's fine. And Karma, being safe, couldn't see where he was. Decides to wait a second to light the second torch up. Gonna get 2 silver hits in here. Oh, maybe only 1 depending on the timing. If one goes out first, yep, one went out first. Meanwhile, Zeke landed. Yeah, he's about a minute and a half behind now.
Yeah, right, and Karma nicely set up here. Yep.
Yeah.
There's that double to finish off Ganon.
Oh yeah, we didn't even need the triple. So get your GGs in chat for as soon as Karma crosses that bridge. Dark Side of the Triforce. Is this game 1 or game 2 for the week for these?
This is game 2.
All right.
Jon Snoo won game 1 earlier this week. And there we go. Karma crossing the bridge, finishing in first place with a time of 107 flat. Get those GGs in. Nicely done for Karma today.
Yeah, excellently done, Karma.
And we will look to get everybody in for an interview. We're pretty much... There's close enough at this point that I think we just go for an interview with everybody at once if everybody's available. So
yep, everybody that wants to come in, give them a couple minutes if they need a couple minutes, and we'll be seeing them here in a couple minutes. But let's talk about this fight Zeke's gonna show off for us. Okay, everybody's eyes are on Zeke. Let's see if he gets a good triple in here somewhere. That's what we all want to see, right? Gets that easy one, that same one that Karma got. Lights up torches. Okay, just gonna get a 1 and a 2. Oh no, he's gonna have to actually light again because that's not gonna let him get a double. And that torch goes out, and he just cleans it up just nice and fine. Get your GGs in chat for Zeke Highwind and his teammate TJ Joel, who I could never properly pronounce his name. Good job, guys. All right.
And there we go. Zeke finishing up with an official time of 1:08:22. GG's.
Yep, just a minute 20 apart. That same 80 seconds apart that they entered Meyer at. Or was that completing Meyer? That was completing Meyer.
Yeah. So we'll definitely look to get everybody in to talk it down.
Talk it out. Hash it together. Seed it to the end. Boy, this music. What MSU is Karma on? I gotta know.
I didn't actually have the music up. I don't always listen to the.
Yeah, it was Chrono Trigger finale music, and now we're and now we're hearing F-Zero music. I don't know what this MSU is. Oh. Restreamer saying this is not music. Runners did not have clean audio, and this is just what we were playing in the background.
Well, background playlist is the greatest soundtrack ever from a merit there. So we are still working on getting our runners in for some talking.
Yep. We've got Karma and Garrison in pre. Oh nope, I said they were in pre-interview, but we've got Karma and Garrison, and we've got Zeke actually loading up onto deck, so we're gonna see him in here in a second. GG, Karma and Garrison.
GG's.
Hello and GG's.
Yeah. So well, gosh, let's wait just a second because the other two runners are gonna be here in just a second. So we're just gonna I guess we're gonna say hi, and we're gonna say hey while we're waiting for them. Hey, thanks to our Meredith, our restreamer, for helping put on the show, and Yoinker's wife very dutifully, keeping track of everything. Keys make this a lot harder job for her, and thanks for Jesse for being so tantalizing and making me want to calm this race with him. GG's TJ and Zeke.
Thanks, John. GG guys.
GG's.
So yeah, I mean, a very close race throughout. I can't say anybody had too much of an edge. You guys did amazing on this one. Really similar routes throughout. Nicely done.
Felt about 5 minutes behind the entire time.
You were never more than 2 minutes behind the entire time.
Never more than 2 minutes behind the entire time.
Oh, you kept trading back and forth. Yeah. I was really trying to get in. I really wanted to get in the pun at the end that we had the Zeke high winds of change, but it never happened. At the end there, the last 10 minutes maybe you were behind the whole time, but before that you guys were trading back and forth a ton.
We just had a really awful beginning of the seed.
Oh, it wasn't just you.
The beginning of the seed that was just weird, and we did not play it right.
Yeah, he was like, go get this, and then it was like, well, where's this? And he's like, did you just save and quit? I'm like, yep. And he's like, it's where you just left.
Yeah, not death warping out of Thieves Town felt like a big mistake.
Yeah,
we weren't sure if you. Okay.
I meant to, and then we were talking about something and talking about saving and quitting, so I auto save and quit, and I was like, uh-oh.
Now, before we ask like your general thoughts and we ask more questions, I have one really important question for Karma specifically. Did you just want to show off the current jump?
I forgot I have flippers.
Thank you, Karma.
Literally, I picked up the bomb, jumped in the water, got it first try. I was like, yes, and I was like, wait, I have flippers. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
you're not the only one.
That was a great moment.
You're not the only one who forgot about the flippers and back of sewers, Karma. Yeah, TJ asked me if I could current jump.
Yeah, I'll raise my hand. I completely forgot they were there.
I forgot I had them.
We picked them up and then forgot to use them.
Because I set up the current jump, got it first try. I was super proud. I was like, first try, sweet.
So did you actually get it? It looked like you actually did get it. So yeah, like
On like everything looked right. Like a bomb hit off screen. It looked like it would have worked, and then I looked at my tracker. I was like, oh, bummer.
yeah, I saw you pull out the boomerang and like getting all like the shimmy, and I'm like, what's going on there?
We'll rock that up to 3 hours of sleep.
All right, I've actually only got one more question myself, and this one's for TJ and Zeke. The decision to pick up that sword after Eastern Palace, was the thought it's going to be quicker to just grab it in the middle of doing Skull Woods, or was it that you forgot it was there for those quick lines? Because it seemed to have been about even time, because Karma grabbed it first before going over to Eastern, so you get those quick dashes in, and then you got it obviously halfway in between after Fire Rod.
Okay, so there's two features here, John. The decision to skip the sword and go to Eastern and Pod was my decision, because it was an easy enough route. The decision to grab the sword between Skullwoods was I saved and quit to the wrong spot.
That's fair, yeah.
Okay.
So I decided to do some improv.
That was some excellent improv. I would have not thought to do it in the middle of Skullwoods. I would have gone before Skullwoods, and then, well, probably lost about 10 seconds to that little ad lib. So good job.
I was gonna say we did get, of course, the traditional Zeke loves swordless. So.
Oh, good. You brought it up again.
No. It was in chat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It came up. It came up that I think I had suggested that you might decide to do the entire seed swordless until you have to do Skullwoods.
It felt more natural to route Pod before getting the sword. I then promptly tried to hammer dash without a sword.
All right.
I have a question for Zeke that I don't think anybody else would realize to ask. So when you were in GT and Mini Helma room, when you were low on hearts, did you think about picking up Sank Heart out of the Mini Helma left instead of powdering the fairies?
TJ didn't tell me there was a Sank Heart there.
Oh.
I quit routing at that point. We were just going.
We skipped it because we only had one heart down, so we weren't even going to powder the fairies. But it was like, if we need to powder the fairies, let's get that heart instead. It just didn't come up.
Yeah, I was having such a good gauntlet. Garrison was like, "You don't need it," and I was like, "I trust my pilot." Here we go.
We didn't need it. We needed the time. We didn't need the Sank Heart.
All right, well, I'm out of thoughts for this seed. Runners, pilots, I'm sure we have the seed's manager here, so if you have any complaints to address to the seed, any extra thoughts, now is definitely the time.
I think the seed was reasonable.
Yeah, the seed was nice for a change.
I mean, you had to beat Cold Stare, but they gave you Timber Sword before it, so...
Oh, I want to ask something to both runners here, because I feel like this is... Why pick up the pendant?
Yeah.
I wanted the refill on the magic in case I needed it for where I was planning going TR, forgetting that there was a magic refill in the front room.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it.
We went
That's
into
actually a good
Swamp.
thought.
I thought about it, but you use most of your magic on Cold Stare. Pick it up for the magic refill before going to the Swamp.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you don't need magic in Swamp, but...
Just for Diver Down. And that's
I just wasn't sure if either of you, I know you guys have probably discussed these types of things, and it's definitely something that comes up on occasion. So I was surprised to see nobody deciding to just leave after getting the ice rod. I thought we were thinking, oh, something's on that green pendant.
No, the refill was... I was just like, I didn't think we had to push it so hard that we didn't get the refill.
All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap us up. We do have a raid, since all of the other races that start at the same time of us are obviously wrapping up about the same time. We're gonna raid runner Danny Music, and he's in the middle of a cross keys seed right now. So everybody who's into that, enjoy. We are gonna mirror out, and you all have a wonderful night. GG's to the runner, great job. My co-commentators, the tracker, restreamer, everybody, great job, everybody.
Yeah, GG's everybody, and thank you for the restream.
Thanks everybody. GG's again, guys.